Welcome to The Worthy Woman, a podcast for the intuitive, ambitious woman who's ready to regulate her nervous system, reconnect with her body, and rise to the next level of success, health, and purpose. I'm your host, Jo, manual osteopath, holistic coach, and nervous system guide, here to walk with you as you heal from the inside out and create a life and a business that actually feels good. On this podcast, we explore the connection between your body, emotions, subconscious patterns, and your ability to lead, create, and live from your worth. Let's get into today's episode. Hey friend, before we dive in, I just want to let you know that my program, Elevated and Embodied, is officially open. We have got an epic Black Friday sale happening, and if you've been feeling stuck in your business, overwhelmed, or like something's been holding you back, this program is going to give you the tools, the support, and the guidance to release blocks, regulate your nervous system, and finally feel aligned and confident. Spots are limited because I want to keep it super supportive, so DM me on Instagram to grab your spot and get the sale details. Welcome back, guys, to the Worthy Woman podcast. So if you have ever felt like no matter how much mindset work or strategy that you do in your business, something still feels like it's kind of holding you back, this episode is going to be for you. So, because this is not always about what you're doing, it's more about what you believe about yourself deep down, okay? So today we're going to be diving into limiting beliefs and how they show up in your business, and how I use Holy Fire Reiki to help women clear them at the root and rewire their subconscious for expansion, abundance, and confidence. So, limiting beliefs are the subconscious stories that quietly kind of run in the background and run the show. So it might be like things, and we can see this in our thoughts as well, where we think like, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, or like, who am I to teach this? And these thoughts and beliefs, because sometimes we don't always like consciously think these things, but we sometimes, it's like underneath the actions that we're taking are these beliefs. And these are formed through past experiences that we've had in our lifetime, conditioning, or even moments where you have felt that your body or your energy, it didn't feel safe. Okay. So this starts to then creep into our business. And I have said this, I believe, before on the podcast, but it's kind of reminds me of that quote where they're like, if you want to do personal development, start a business, right? Because it really requires you to go inward and, I don't want to say test yourself, but kind of almost like it makes you push yourself in a way, right? Push yourself outside of a comfort zone, and you have to be vulnerable, and you have to be expressive, and you have to be your own sense of self if you want to grow a business that is actually going to, be successful in the way that you want it to be, right? So limiting beliefs can show up in a lot of different ways when we are creating our business, when we're starting our business. Some of them kind of show up as fear of showing up online, imposter syndrome, procrastination, or overworking to prove yourself, fear of being seen, or a fear of success, struggling to attract or hold clients. It can also show up in our financial world of like struggling to attract and hold on to money, struggling to make more money, struggling to save money, grow money, right? All those sorts of things, right? So these limiting beliefs come in and they make us believe a certain story. And those stories come from our upbringing, society, even sometimes like generational stuff, like, what was happening in your parents' life when you were born and all these kinds of things, right? Like there's a deep, deep programming that's being played out, especially when you find yourself in like loops, like these continual patterns that you can't seem to break out of. It's probably because there's a limiting belief there. And limiting beliefs are connected to the nervous system. Just like our emotions are connected to our nervous system, so are limiting beliefs. And so even when you consciously want to grow, your nervous system can perceive that expansion as unsafe. So you resist, you sabotage, and you stay stuck in patterns that feel familiar, but they're small, right? Like they're not allowing you to grow the way that you want to. So it kind of keeps you in this bubble. It keeps you in this space where you just feel like you can't get out of it, right? And so you might be maybe comfortable, but it's not really where you want to be, right? And some of you could be uncomfortable and it's still like, why can't I leave this? Obviously, I would want to make more money and pay my bills, right? And so there's kind of this like weird dichotomy between limiting beliefs and what we want to be and have, because there's our logical mind that goes, well, like, obviously I don't want to believe that because that's going to keep me stuck. But how do we actually shift that in the body? And that's where the Reiki piece starts to come in, because a lot of people think that they can try to think their way out of limiting beliefs. And, you know, they repeat affirmations, they maybe do some journaling, or they're like rewriting their thoughts. But if the belief is still rooted in the energy or in your body's memory, it can't be shifted by just like the mind alone. You have to have both components. And that's where we bring in the energy work to heal what the mind can't reach, right? And so there needs to be this like collaboration basically between the mind and the body to fully get rid of and clear the limiting belief. So there are ways that I use the Holy Fire to clear limiting beliefs. So I want to kind of go through like how Holy Fire Reiki actually clears limiting beliefs. And this is a huge part of my program, Elevated and Embodied, because oftentimes our patterns, how we show up, whether we're overworking, whether we feel like we're not good enough, whether we are struggling to hit the next milestone in our business, all of that can start to dysregulate our nervous system. And so limiting beliefs is a huge piece of regulating your nervous system. And this is part of the lifestyle aspect and the personal growth part of nervous system healing that I talk about, where it's like you can't just do nervous system tools in the sense of like a 5-minute breath work or a little like meditation. Those things are supportive, but we have to also look at what's going on deeper, because if we don't clear these things, you're just going to end up in the same patterns, and you're going to end up having to like, you're going to have having days that like you have to do like a million meditations just to like feel normal, right? So we're going to go through how Holy Fire clears these limiting beliefs. So number one, it heals at the root. So again, it gets beyond the mind. So limiting beliefs like I'm not good enough or it's not safe to be seen often come from like energetic imprints. And so these are experiences that we've had of fear, rejection, or shame that got stored in your body or your energy field. And so Holy Fire Reiki channels a high frequency, intelligent energy, and it goes straight to those root distortions and it helps to dissolve them. So, and this is like doing it without having to relive the story. So if any of you have done subconscious work or rewiring work or something like that, you'll know that like a lot of times they make you go relive the story and then like they rewrite the story, right? With the Holy Fire Reiki, it goes where it needs to go. So you don't have to actually relive the story. It'll clear your energetic field of the imprint. So instead of trying to talk yourself out of a belief, the energy helps release the emotional and the energetic charge behind it. And then that's when, new beliefs can actually integrate themselves, right? So we just actually start to see the world differently. And I know I've had this because this year is when I got my training I'm actually a Holy Fire Reiki master. So I went through level 1, 2, and 3. So I can actually teach Reiki. And the shifts that I've had in my own mindset, my own belief, my energy is crazy. Like I feel like I'm a totally different person from when I started basically 2025, when I started this year, right? And so I didn't have to like change my beliefs. It just like happened naturally because energetically it was being cleared from my system. So number 2, Holy Fire Reiki helps to calm the nervous system. And so it helps to actually open up the subconscious. So when your nervous system is in fight, flight, freeze, even fawn, right? Your subconscious, it stays kind of guarded and it doesn't feel safe to change, right? So because we're in that protective piece, right? Like we're in those nervous system states because we're trying to protect ourselves. And so Holy Fire Reiki brings you into deep safety and what's called coherence, and it relaxes you essentially, right? So when that happens, your body relaxes, which then allows your mind to kind of settle and soften, right? And then your subconscious becomes receptive to the changes. And so this is where the rewiring happens from that resistance to openness, and then you can like integrate the changes that are trying to happen. And so this is like how energy work helps you, because it helps to calm you, relax you. If you've ever had a Reiki session, or you've ever had even just energy work done, it's very calming, very relaxing, right? And by relaxing the nervous system, it allows you to get into the subconscious mind. So number 3, Holy Fire raises your frequency, which makes old beliefs incompatible. So the higher your vibration, the less likely those stories can exist, because you're changing, right? So Holy Fire Reiki lifts your energetic frequency so that you can align with your truth. So you'll have clarity, abundance, worthiness. When you're in that, I don't know if any of you have ever there's a book that I have, I forget what it's called, but it talks about the different frequencies of emotions. And the more you are at a higher frequency of your emotion, the more you're less likely to attract other things. And you can actually help lift everybody else in your life up because of that, because you're just around them, right? So a lot of people say I just don't believe that old story anymore. And it's not necessarily because they forced a new thought, but it's because it simply just doesn't feel true for them anymore. And this is where I would always get stuck when it came to embodying this next version of myself. It was I'd say the affirmation, I would do the journaling, I would understand that I'm supposed to view this version of me and who I am. But then there was a part of me that didn't really believe it. You know what I mean? It's I still could feel that old story was there in my nervous system, in my body. Because logically I was yeah, that makes sense. But also I don't feel any different. And I kind of still can tell that I fall into those patterns, right? It just didn't feel like it fully resonated. And that's when you're oh, I make 5K a month right now, and you're trying to make 50K. And you sit there and you do your affirmations and you journal about making 50K. And it still just feels very distant, right? It still feels very far away. And that is because you haven't actually shifted your frequency. You haven't actually shifted your energy. You haven't actually shifted your nervous system, right? To meet and match that frequency. So, and that's what energy healing does. It changes what you are available for. Number 4 is that it reconnects you to your authentic self. So at its core, Holy Fire Reiki connects you to your essence. So it is a part of you that already knows that you are capable, you are worthy, and you are enough. So think of it like if you were a soul before you came onto this earth. You already know what you're capable of. You already know what you believe in. You already know what you're good at. You have confidence. You feel good about yourself, right? And then we come into this world and we get kind of tainted by it, right? People tell us things, society tells us another thing, our parents, tell it's one thing, and we get raised in an environment where they're stressed out and they're dealing with whatever, right? And they've had their experiences, and then they put those experiences onto us, right? And we have our own experiences that change how we view things. So the Holy Fire kind of almost helps you strip all of that back. And then you realize, as you get closer to your true self, that you are capable, you are worthy, you are enough, right? So when you start living from that energy, you stop trying to fix yourself, and you start actually remembering who you are and what you're here to do and how you're meant to run your business and what actually would feel good for you. And then from there, everything in your content, your sales, your confidence, it starts to flow differently. And this is because it's coming from a place of alignment and not from fear or pressure or feeling like we should do things. So this is why Holy Fire is such a powerful, powerful part of my elevated and embodied coaching program. Because in that space, we are not just talking about strategy or mindset. We're actually healing the energetics behind the patterns that block you from your next level. So Reiki can help support and does help support my clients by clearing energy blocks behind self-sabotage or the fear of visibility, releasing scarcity and unworthiness at the root of it. It can help you recalibrate your energy to align with success and ease and flow, right? Kind of open you up a little bit more. And it helps you embody the new beliefs like in your body, so somatically, right? So it's not just something that you're thinking, it's actually something that you are. So there starts to become this like identity shift that starts to happen. And then once those beliefs are cleared, the next step is you get to integrate these things. So by regulating your nervous system, by taking aligned action in your business and anchoring in that new frequency through like daily practices, the things that you do every day, right? So I do also guide my clients through like breath work, grounding, nervous system tools to help make those energetic shifts and changes actually tangible, right? So the program itself, a lot of this is like pre-recorded sessions, Holy Fire Reiki experiences. And also each person who comes into the program actually gets a personal Reiki session with me. It's a distance session. And so then we can go really specific into like what's coming up with you, what needs to be cleared. Let's clear it to help you obviously align with who you're trying to be and actually be able to embody that change of who you're trying to be in your business. So if you are ready to stop letting old beliefs run the show and start building your business from like an energetic aligned place, not from burnout, that is exactly what we do inside Elevated and Embodied, right? So you'll experience the Holy Fire Reiki clearings, nervous system recalibration, and the embodiment tools to help you show up with confidence and consistency in your business. So if you want to learn more, you can check out the link down below. I believe it's my website, so www.joepadalino.com/coaching. So that'll give you a little bit more description about the program itself. It's 12 weeks long, and then there'll be a button there that you can apply for the program. So I do it by application because I like to keep this place small, intimate, with the right types of people and the right types of energies, because I just feel like we need to make sure that that's happening in a healing container, right? And so if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. I do also have Reiki sessions that you can, like distance sessions that you can book with me. So the link for that will also be down below. And if you're not already and you're into all this stuff and you're into spirituality and you are like totally down the path that I'm down, feel free to follow me on YouTube. I'm going to be posting some additional videos and some little meditations and readings and stuff like that on my YouTube channel, which I'm super, 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 super excited about. So feel free to follow me over there as well. So think about what types of limiting beliefs are showing up for you. What is one belief that keeps coming up every time you think about this next level that you're trying to hit? And if that belief wasn't there, who would you get to be in your business? So sit with that, think about that. Feel free to DM me on Instagram if there's anything you want to share, or talk about anything that came up for you with regards to this perspective shift or what is coming up for you in your business, right? I'd love to talk about things, even just get your insight of like where you're at. I always find that really fascinating. It's great information, obviously, for me. And it's nice too to feel that because I've had all of this happen in my life, right? So it's and still happen. But it's just nice to have people who are experiencing the same things, it kind of feels like we're all in this together, which I know that we are, but I think at times this journey can feel very lonely. And that's also why I wanted to create this program, because it's so easy to sit and be like, oh, I'm just going to do this work by myself. And then a year, 2 years, 5 years goes by and nothing's changed, right? So if you're ready for something to change, feel free to check out the links down below. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. And otherwise, I will see you next week. But also I wanted to let you know the Black Friday sale is, I believe the last day to do it is going to be December 1st, which is next Monday, right? No, I think we have a week and a half still. Doors officially open November 25th, but I'm going to keep the sale going till December 1st for, I think that's what is that, Cyber Monday, something like that? I know that the Black Friday original day is the 28th, so we're going to keep it for that weekend. So if you want to hop in before then and get that discount, it is 30% off, which is a huge, massive, massive discount. I do have payment plans and all that kind of stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in or need to talk about, feel free to just DM me. If you're curious on price and all that kind of stuff, just shoot me a message and I'll let you know what it is. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I will be back next week with another episode for you. And yeah, we'll chat some more. So have a good one, and I'll see you next week.